Hi everybody, Facebook Live. I'm here today at Mary Seacole House and I'm with the lovely Iqra. Now I've been talking to Iqra via Zoom because I'm a board member here for the last few months, but this is the first time I've actually met her.
I know, right?
And I feel like I already know her. And I'll just leave Iqra just to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name's Iqra Mazir. I'm the operations manager for Mary Seacole House. So today I'm going to be cooking and multitasking, which I'm quite nervous about.
Oh, you'll be all right. You're in safe hands.
Yeah, okay, amazing.
And as I say, so Iqra, you're the operations manager. How long have you been the operations manager for?
So I'm fairly new-ish.
Yeah.
So I started in March, April, and obviously started during lockdown working from home. So this is all still quite new to me anyway. We've only really just come back to the office, so it's been a challenge. I think it's been interesting to get to know people, to meet members, but then like working from home on the flip side, it just kind of completely changes how you work and like how you deliver your service. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far.
What made you actually want to come to Mary Seacole House? Well, actually, first of all, sorry, we should explain for people at home who don't know what Mary Seacole House is. Iqra, can you just give us a little bit of background history on Mary Seacole?
I'll do my spiel.
Go on, do your spiel, do it.
Okay, so
while you're doing that, I'm going to get the pan, so go on, you do that.
So Mary Seacole House, we are a multicultural mental health resource centre, and we support the local BAME community. So that's Black, Asian, minority ethnic and refugee with mental health problems and mental health needs. We support them emotionally, practically, and we also advocate for them as well. We have 3 services: day service, which compromises of health and wellbeing activities. We have a family service, and we have an advocacy service. So there's 3 main services that are members. So we call our clients members. We use that as a term of empowerment, really, rather than clients or service users, so they can access any of our services. We work with all communities across Merseyside, but mostly BAME community, so BME, Black, minority, ethnic. So that's a little bit about Mary Seacole House. You can find out more on our website, www.maryseacolehouse.com or .org. I'll put it in the comments. Also check us out on social media as well. We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram. So Michelle, you're setting up.
I'm just going to get started. We're going to be making some nice homemade leek and potato soup. We've got some of the members coming today for the walking group. It's one of the many activities that Mary Seacole run to support their members. Why do you call, there's a million questions I've got for today, but why do you call your members, and what is a member? Because obviously, because we've got people at home going, who are these members? Is it like an elite club? Can I join? Is it a golfing club? Is it members
it's definitely only? Not a golfing club.
So it's a members. It is a members club. Can you just explain,
of course,
why you call it that?
I'll just explain again because I think the kettle was on in the background, so some people may not have heard me. But the reason we call our clients or the people that use our service members is because we use that as a term of empowerment, because they, not only as staff do we support them, but they are a part of the organisation on a different level to what you'd expect in other services, and we try to have that relationship with them throughout their time at the organisation. So it's a term of empowerment. It's so they feel like they are a member of something, of a community and of a family.
Fantastic, lovely. So we'll go back to the question that I asked ages ago, because I was thinking today about, obviously I've got to know you via Zoom, and it's absolutely lovely for you to do this with me today. Poor Rick, you've only just got back to the office and I'm already gate crashing and saying, come on, let's do this. What made you want to join Mary Seacole House, and what did you do prior that led to this?
I did a podcast a few weeks ago with Community Bridges.
I'm just going to chop onions.
I'm not chopping. I hate onions. I'm gonna cry. If I start crying, it's the onions, guys. It's not anything else. I'm not getting really emotional about this stuff.
It's a really obvious wink then, wasn't it?
I know, right? Okay, so this is a story. So basically, just in a nutshell, I did my undergraduate in international relations, international politics. Thought I was gonna work for an NGO, save the world,
Yeah.
make a difference, and then realised that I didn't have any experience at all.
Yeah.
So when I did my masters, I started volunteering for a couple of refugee and asylum support charities in Leicester, Manchester, and then Liverpool. And then that kind of just started off my experience really, and working with BME people with mental health problems. And yeah, I started work as a volunteer coordinator, and then kind of became services manager in different organisations. But I'm here today as an operations manager. I mean, I didn't think I was ever going to be an operations manager. You don't really wake up one day and be like, I'm going to be an operations manager.
You don't know what's around the corner in life. No. And I started off as a volunteer with Mary Seacole House many moons ago, helping fundraiser. I actually followed them on Twitter. I don't ask me what the Twitter is. I will find out. And Vanessa runs their Twitter account, and I just loved all the stuff that they do, and it came from a really person-centred, where these people were not just clients, they were literally part of a wider family. Absolutely. I was invited to the Christmas party, and anybody that knows me knows I like to enjoy myself. And then once I went to the Christmas party, I was completely hooked. I love the diversity. I love the fact that there was so many different walks of life, so many different religions coming together to support each other, and really had a respect. And that's when I fell in love with Mary Seacole. And then I think it was about 2 years ago, I was asked to come.
2 years?
I think so. And then I was asked to be a board member, and then we went in lockdown. So so many stories, then we went in lockdown.
I know.
So I'm just going to quickly go back. So making leek and potato soup today.
Yeah.
I've got the onions.
Right,
and
shall I help peel as well?
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly show you. Hope everybody can hear us okay at home. Just do me a thumbs up if you can hear us. So again, I've showed you a million times. So when you're doing onions, you've got your root and you've got your tip, okay?
Okay.
I'm just going to slice the tip off.
Okay, so you don't peel?
No. Keep it simple.
Okay.
And then I put it flat down so you can see, keeping that root on. I'm slicing through the root. I've got you a knife there, Iqra, if you want to have a go as well.
Right, guys.
So you're going to slice the
tip, yeah. Okay. Yep.
And then put it flat down like this.
Yep.
Slice through the root.
Like this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Careful of your hands.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're going to peel it now.
Okay. That's so much easier.
Yeah. This is one of the many things I learned. Well, one of the first things we learned in college. So it was so much easier.
Okay, so yeah, that is a lot easier. But yeah, I mean, like, just going back to that question about why I joined Mary Seacole House. I mean, it's probably very similar to you as well. Like, I had worked with them in previous roles, and I think just seeing the way that they support the community, what they do for their members, and really challenging discrimination in the mental health services. I think that's something that really I admired and kind of wanted to be a part of.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to keep that root on.
Yep.
But I'm just slicing through, and I'm just these are strong as well. I'll come every time I'm doing a Facebook Live, I always get strong onions, and you can see it's like a fan. I've kept the root on, and the reason is when I chop them like this, they hold together.
Oh my God, I can feel the tears coming on.
I know, it is. They are really strong.
Right, thank God the camera's not on my face.
I was doing a Facebook Live the other week, and I chop onions every flipping week, and this was the week where I got the strongest onions. So I'm going to pop all that into the pan.
Okay.
So if you can just pop yours in as well.
So shall I cut them as well?
Yeah, you chop yours up.
Just like this, yeah?
There's it. Chris is doing a great job.
Right, are these big enough?
Yeah, because we're going to blend it, so don't worry.
Okay, that's fine.
I was just literally showing that just so we... Let me just move this out of the way while we're... I think I'm just going to go and just quickly wash my hands.
Okay. So Michelle's leaving me here on a live cooking show. I mean, I can cook. I'm not very good. But, yeah.
Don't worry.
I know every time. Well,
do you want to wash your hands in there now?
Then please. Yeah.
Okay. So can everybody hear me? Hi, Vanessa. I know Panda Eyes. She's saying. So emotional. Okay, I'm just going to move those onions completely out of the way.
Okay.
What is different? So there's lots of mental health charities out there, supporting various things. Why is Mary Seacole House so different, and why is it needed?
It's so different because
you know, this is. I'm just thinking about what people are saying at home. Well, why do we need mental health for BAME communities? What's the difference? Why can't people from BAME communities go to can get mainstream mental health support?
Yeah.
I was gonna say normal, but it's not. You know.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I think we exist because I mean, there's evidence and research which proves that people from a minority ethnic background have extra barriers when it comes to accessing mental health services. So we've been doing it for over 25 years, and we've got an excellent track record of helping people overcome these barriers.
Yeah.
And when I talk about barriers, I mean if you're white British, yeah, of course you have your own barriers and systematic barriers, but there's an added layer then when you come from a minority ethnic community. So that could be language, culture, religion, you know, your perception of mental health. So like, you know, I'm British Pakistani, and you know, in the Pakistani community there can often be a huge stigma attached to having a mental health condition. So what we do is we try to work with people to understand firstly that it's okay to have a mental health condition, and these are what your rights and entitlements are in this country, whether you're born here or not, to access certain statutory services and non-statutory services. So that's why we're so important, because we've done it for over 25 years and we're absolutely excellent at it. Yeah. And we know our communities and we know what the challenges are with our members and accessing mental health services, and there are a lot. So for example, if you're, I mean, I've said this a few times, but if you're black, you're more likely to be sectioned under the Mental Health Act than if you're white British. You're more likely to have a community treatment order if you're black than if you're white British.
Why is that? This is new to me, by the way, so I'm learning something new today.
Yeah.
Why is that? How can that happen?
Well, you know, in 1987, Channel 4 did a documentary on a similar issue, and the statistics were very, very similar then. So black people were more likely to have a tranquilizer used on them than white people. And there's so many other, I know, there's so many other statistics that you could have a look at and research, but I think the point is that even now, kind of post 30 years later, it's still the same systematic issues that are happening, and still systematic racism that's happening within mental health services and health services.
That's really shocking. I didn't even know that. I mean, you can't believe that this day and age those sort of things are still happening. And I suppose, again, you're not just working with the member or the client, you're working with their families, you're working with the communities to break down the stigma of mental health. Yes. Because obviously if they're dealing with mental health issues, the most important thing is being able to get support from your family, your friends, without feeling that you're going to be persecuted or ridiculed. Mental health is a hard situation for a lot of people to deal with anyway, without the fact that you've not gotten that extra support bubble. And I suppose that's what when you come across explaining to their family members or their friends that this is okay, it's fine to have if you've got mental health issues, there's not an issue there. Yeah, of course.
It's breaking down that stigma. Yeah. Which is a big part of what our family service does. So they work, it's the BAME family service, and that's what they do with their families. They work with the whole family unit to kind of explain, it's okay to have a mental health condition, and this is what it means. And and just kind of breaking down those barriers, like I said before, language, culture. Brilliant.
2 seconds, guys. I'm just going to go and get the stove on.
Just trying to see if you can see my tea is from the onions. So potato and leek soup.
What's that?
Potato and leek soup.
Yeah, celery, leek and potato soup. So 2 seconds, guys. I'm just going to go and get a light. But in the meantime, can you tell us a little bit more about what sorts of things that you ran through lockdown?
That's a really good question.
Yeah. So what was Mary Seacole up to through lockdown to keep your members supported?
Okay, I kind of don't know where to look actually, because this is a live, so I'm kind of like, do I look at the camera? Do I look down? But anyway, I'm not cooking, so I can stare at the camera. So so what did we do over lockdown? So, I mean, like most services, we had to massively adapt to how we delivered our service, and we basically became completely digital, so everything was online. Pros and cons, obviously. we were able to access more people. We were able to have bigger caseload because there wasn't the kind of added issue of travel and meeting clients and going out into the community. Everything was online, everything was instant. Cons obviously are that not everyone has access to the internet, not everyone
how
has
did you
access.
overcome that? Because I was teaching through lockdown, and many of the people that I was working with, I'd never used Zoom, and it was getting to grips with that, and also making people feel comfortable using technology. So how did you combat that? Did many of your members have that technology?
Yeah, I mean, I think I couldn't give you a number, but I think nowadays most people do have a smartphone. But obviously it's not just about that, it's about internet access as well. So what we did is we were able to purchase Android tablets, which we gave out to some of our members. Yeah. So it came with a SIM card, I think, and then but they basically had a tablet so they could come onto the Zoom sessions.
Excellent.
And we did so many Zoom sessions actually. We did, we had our coffee mornings online. We had like Bollywood exercises classes online. That was actually in my first week, Michelle. My second day at the organisation. Fawzia, who's our health and wellbeing coordinator, was
fabulous.
Like, oh, Iqra, you're Pakistani, come and do some Bollywood dancing in front of like so many members.
Can you do a bit for us now? You're like, no.
No, definitely not. I mean, I do like dancing, but I'm trying to be professional, so...
It's alright. I mean, I'm never professional. Most people know me. I'm just like, what you see is what you get.
I mean, the most standard move is just like with the bangles, you know? Like,
the bangles,
is it? Like, like this, you just sort of click your hands together.
Oh, look at that, we were coordinating it. See, you've even got dancing as well.
I know.
So, I've got on the pan here, you can see, I just got the pan there, and I've got some onions and garlic just sweating off. Okay. Just bring it there. Ooh. There you go.
Okay, so you said that you... Well, this is about me, but also let's make it about you as well.
All right, okay.
So you went to college to do catering, was it?
Yeah, I trained as a chef many moons ago. I had educational barriers, and I had a really bad educational experience where I was told to just go and get a job in a, I wanted to go on and do A-levels. I was really talented at art, and I was told by my head of year, don't bother, get yourself a job in a takeaway because that's all you're good for. Fortunately, and I was so stubborn, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to let anything stop me. Went to Deeside College, and they diagnosed me with dyslexia, and they gave me so much support. They gave me a laptop. Now the laptop opened up my whole world. I lacked confidence. I lacked a lot because of the educational barriers. I suffered with mental health. I lacked confidence. So they opened up a whole world to me. I can't explain how frustrating it is when you cannot get the support you need, when you know you're capable of doing the work, but you have an educational issue. I got all my qualifications, absolutely travelled the world, loved it. Wow. And then about 6 years ago, 2016, speech training education. Mark Orr came to me and he had some free funding for me to do my teacher training. I never dreamed of being a teacher ever. It was far above me that I, so they paid for me to do my teacher training. Then in 2017, I was asked to, I've already been working in the community, been volunteering for a long time, meeting the most amazing people, and they said, can we combine what you're doing with education?
Wow, I mean, that's great, isn't it? Like, because obviously...
I was already doing it. Absolutely loved it. Set up the cookery classes, and then from there I set up my own charity. So it's just been an amazing roller coaster ride, and I just get paid to do what I'm doing. I get paid to come here. I get to work with the most amazing people, military veterans. I do a lot with drug and alcohol rehab, mental health, people who are looking to learn new skills. I can't even tell you, Iqra, it's transformative, and you know how it is when you're working in the community and you're meeting the most amazing, inspirational people every day. It changes you fundamentally, I think, and it's just such a blessing. It sounds quite a cliche, doesn't it?
No, but it does, and I mean, I think as well, like, how do you think cooking kind of, if we were to use that sort of standard
Empower
phrase,
us,
like an improve mental well-being.
Well,
mental
you
health.
know, the thing is, you are what you eat as well. So a lot of people, if you're suffering with your mental health, sometimes you don't spend a lot of time cooking. It's too stressful. And also then you're eating maybe a lot of highly processed food. So, takeaway meals, all of that sort of stuff, microwave meals, which is grand. You know, I eat them. I don't eat them every day. This also makes you feel tired. There's a lot of processed food. There's a lot of sugars in them. So then you're going to feel great, but then you're going to feel tired. But you're thinking, I've just eaten. So it's also looking about your well-being, building confidence, learning new skills. So when they come to me and the cooking, like I said, at Mary Seacole House, it's all about communication, teamwork, listening to each other, supporting each other, getting out the house. And food is something we all have in common. It's something that everybody can relate to, no matter what walk of life, you know, and it's an opening topic, so people don't feel as like sort of nervous about coming into a class. And that's what we've been doing at Mary Seacole House since I started coming here voluntary and as a board member and teaching here and working with the members and getting them out. We actually did, oh God, Vanessa, you'll know this, I don't remember what year we did, but we had a multicultural day, you know, there's an annual one, obviously not since COVID. And the actual members prepared all the food for this event and served the food, which was great. And that's empowering in itself, because a lot of them were very nervous, apprehensive, but they prepared the food, they had belief in the food.
It makes you feel good when you cook something and someone likes it.
Yeah, and it was food from across the board. We did Indian, we did Scouse, we did, we did Chinese food. And it was great that people came to this multicultural event and it was actually prepared by the members here. When was it, Vanessa? Vanessa's watching it, but I can't remember what year was that. Was that 2019? I know, we'll have to get some photos of that. I've got them online. So anyway, I'm just going to go back to the soup. So I'm going to get you to do some peeling for me, if that's all right. Or do you want to peel spuds or chop leeks?
I'll peel the spuds.
Okay, so while Iqra's doing that, I'm just going to chop the leeks ready for our soup.
So do you know what? This is actually really simple. So all you've used is onion, leeks and potatoes.
Yeah, I've got some celery there that I'm going to chuck in. Keep it simple. I love homemade soup. It's really heartwarming and healthy.
Okay, so potatoes, wash.
You don't need to. You're just going to peel them and then we're going to chop them up.
Okay.
I've got the leeks there. I have washed the leeks earlier just because they tend to be quite gritty. So if there's anybody got any questions, if you're online and watching and you want to know more about Mary Seacole House, and or you know somebody in the community that maybe needs extra support, how do people access Mary Seacole House? How do they get support?
There's a couple of ways. You can self-refer, so you can phone us, email us. We'll ask you to fill out a referral form and we can do that with you. We get a lot of community referrals, so people that are accessing the service that have friends that need our support. And then we get referrals from external professionals. So this could be your GP, psychiatrist, community mental health nurse, social worker. So there's loads of different ways that you can access our service, that people can access our service. But if you do have someone that would need our support, so remember we work with mostly the BAME community, supporting people with their mental health needs. Check us out on our website. Can you link it after?
Yeah, I'll put it on.
Link it after. Give us a phone call and we will definitely have someone speak to you about what kind of support you need. But we are taking referrals. We never stop taking referrals.
No, and I know that it's been ongoing. Have you found that since COVID has it increased, and what sort of things are you dealing with now since COVID?
I think the demand for our services after lockdown has just gone up so much because lockdown was extremely isolating for a lot of people. And then on top of that, if you're don't have digital access, it's even more difficult then to get support. So now kind of things are going back to normal. There has been a huge demand for our service. We are worried about a mental health crisis post-lockdown. And you can kind of see that happening a little
100%.
bit because people have been locked up. People's mental health has really been affected.
Do you think people are finding it difficult to re-engage? Basically, normally, you'd be out and about, never thinking about issues about leaving your home. Are people concerned about leaving the home?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we've seen that in some of our members, you know, especially if you've got mental health problems like OCD, for example, that is just going to exacerbate it even more
OCD, if you've got OCD, so if you've got OCD, why will that, I can't even say exacerbate it, I've got a bit of a cold.
Well, yeah, there's different types of OCD. So, for example, I can't remember the name of this one, so apologies, but say your OCD is kind of based on germs and bacteria and things like that. Going, you know,
I'm a bit like that already.
Going out.
I'm like, I mean, I've been taking steriliser to the gym for years, and everybody used to laugh at me, but you know,
now they're not laughing
now?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, obviously, like the whole thing now with the way that coronavirus has been spread. I mean, obviously, that's something like that would.
How do you help somebody then with this type of OCD?
So I guess what we would do at Mary Seacole House is obviously make sure that they're getting the right support.
Yeah.
And a lot of what we do is, you know, helping people understand their mental health problems, whether that's through us or other services, and just giving them a sense of empowerment. So, you know, things like this, for example.
Yeah, we're actually running a class. So anybody, I think Julie, who works here, will introduce her in a bit. We're actually running a cookery class the end of the month. I can't remember the date, but Julie will know. And I think we've got some spaces left. So if anybody's interested, who is a member of Mary Seacole and wants to come and do some cooking with me, you're more than welcome. Just contact Julie and we'll put the details on later.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it's about making sure that they are getting because it might not necessarily be us that helps that person.
Yeah.
But it's about working with them to make sure that they get the right support and that they get what they're entitled to. I keep saying that, but rights and entitlement so important in what we do.
Yeah.
And making people aware of that. Right, how many potatoes?
Keep going. I like lots of spuds. So in the pan, I've put the leeks. I've sweated off the onions. I've just chucked the leeks in. I'm going to put the celery in now.
Right, what does it mean when you sweat off the onions? Because that's quite a funny phrase. Okay, soften them up.
Okay, I've got the celery, which I'm just going to roughly chop. Chuck that in. Do you do a lot of cooking at home? I know.
Do you know what? I've just moved to a new place, and I think it took me about a month to get a wok, like a pan.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cooking is for me. I love food, but when I cook myself, it's very functional.
Yeah, I'm the same.
So it's just like boiled egg, sandwich, or like pasta.
Yeah.
But I actually really, really, really enjoy food. Yeah. Like I love going out to eat.
Oh, hiya, Alan. Yeah.
Hello, Alan.
I love it. I mean, generally because I'm cooking, it's a bit of a busman's holiday, and I do struggle with cooking for myself because you just don't really interested in it. So. Coming out of lockdown and your members, so what activities are you doing? What you're doing here at Mary Seacole House to get people out of the homes and feel safe?
Okay, so we have an art class which is every Monday at John Archer Hall.
Oh, lovely. What time and how do you, again, if you're a member?
So the art class is, I think, from 12 o'clock, but I'd have to double check on that. So we initially did it at John Archer Hall. This was before I started, and then we moved it online, but obviously with something like art and craft, it's quite a group activity, and it's nice to be able to do it with other people. So now that it's back face-to-face, we've got really good attendance. I think on average we have like between 12 and 15 people coming, which is amazing.
Lovely. So you've got the art class.
We've got the art class, and then we have a walking group every Wednesday.
That's who we're cooking for today.
That's who we're cooking for. And then the Fame Family Service, they have lots of activities, so they'll be doing cooking as well. Is
that run by Kelly?
Yeah, Kelly Ross.
The lovely Kelly. Hi, Kelly, if you're watching, or you're watching later.
Yeah, Kelly is absolutely fantastic.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, so she's our Fame Family Service manager.
Yeah.
But what she does with her members is incredible. So, you know, you were asking me before about how we actually help people.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. In a lot of cultures, you know, African, Asian, Arab, caring for your elders or caring for members of your family is a big part of your way of life.
Yeah.
and it's a very normalised thing as well. So like, for example, my sisters always joke with my mum that we're going to put her in a care home when she's older, but that's just kind of not what we do.
No.
It's a very cultural thing.
So would people live with your grandparents?
Yeah,
or?
absolutely, they would, yeah. And then you'd end up becoming a carer for them.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but then obviously you become a carer for that person. And as a carer, you have rights, and there are certain things that you're entitled to. So Kelly's service does a lot of work with people that do have caring responsibilities. So she'll put them on courses, she'll get them carers allowance. She'll also put a lot of people on interpreting courses as well.
Amazing. So how many, sorry, I keep coming up with random questions,
No,
but
go for it.
How many languages, do you have specific, do you have to use a company? Do some of the staff speak different languages?
So we like to, because obviously of who we are, we like to have, very diverse staff members in the organisation. So I think between staff, we probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 languages between us.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 6
I can barely
languages,
speak English, let alone any other language. And that's normally depending on the day. That's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, so we've got Arabic, we've got Persian, Urdu and Punjabi, so 3 of us speak Urdu and Punjabi.
Yeah.
I speak it the least well, unfortunately.
Oh.
But Saika, she's our community advocate, and Fawzia and Sidipta and Shazia, they all speak Urdu and Punjabi.
How many staff have you got at Mary Seacole House? Because I know, obviously I've been volunteering here for a long time, the amount of work that the staff do here, and what I was really initially impressed with was the above and beyond. It's not just a job to, you don't need any more, you'll be all right.
Is that all right? Yeah.
It's not just a job to many of the staff here, to all the staff here, I should say. It's a passion, and they really truly care for the members. And I know that a lot of them do more that and so much more to support their members. How many people have you got working here?
Okay, so with our new apprentices, so we've just taken on 4 apprentices and
who are the apprentices?
So we've taken on 4 people as part of the government apprenticeship scheme. So we've got Ben, Samira, Shirley, and Shazia.
And do they work in this sort of?
Yeah. So
are they university or?
They're not university, no. So it's with the apprenticeship scheme, it's more skills based rather than kind of the other side of it, the sort of academic stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, they when you take on apprentices, they will get a qualification. It could be like an MVQ or some kind of qualification like that. So yeah, we've got them working in the family service, advocacy and admin as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and definitely we've got amazing volunteers. I'm not sure how many volunteers we've got at the moment, but they're a huge support to us. And you were saying about interpreting, we have so many volunteers that offer their free time to help us support our clients. So, yep, shout out to our volunteers.
Yeah, and then how many staff altogether then do you have?
Oh my God, I think we've got we've got 17 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it sounds a lot, but it's not compared to the amount of work that you have to do.
No, it's actually, no, exactly, yeah. I mean, often what you'll find is when you've got your role is doing something that incorporates so many other things as opposed to like some of the bigger charities. But yeah, it does sound like, it's a lot for us because we're used to like 8 and 10 members of staff. So this is a huge jump for us, and it's a huge expansion of our service, which was needed to be
which
fair, is massively needed, especially post COVID. And I think even with like the whole Black Lives Matter movement last year, it's really put this issue. Yeah, it's a hot topic. Long overdue. Absolutely.
And it was, it's a shame that it had to get to this point to be able to get the support that this charity needed, really.
I agree. Yeah.
And that's why I felt like I had to, sort of become to volunteer and also give a shout out, because it was such an amazing charity that not many people knew about. Obviously the service, the members knew about it, but I just felt like the wider community in Liverpool needed to know a lot more about Mary Seacole House and all the amazing work. And I will do some other stuff with Mary Seacole, just so you can see where I'm coming from and the heart of the community and the amazing work that's done here.
Yeah, next time we can do it with another member of staff. Because I'm not frontline anymore. I've got the boring job, so I do all of the IT stuff, all of the boring stuff.
And the cooking. So I've sweated off these leeks so that you can see, and the celeries, they're nice and soft. I've got some. Don't use anything, you know, you can use fresh herbs, but I've just got some normal herbs,
thyme.
just whatever I picked up.
I've got to say, mixed herbs, that's my favourite.
Yeah,
I put it on
again.
everything, I put it on everything.
But the thing is, it's like when you're cooking, you don't want to go out and spend a fortune on ingredients that you're never going to use. And the good old mixed herbs is a great one to have in. I think Aldi do it for about 39p for a jar. I normally go to the multicultural shop and buy, when I'm cooking with spices, I buy massive bags just because it's cheaper.
So where would one find one of those?
Well, there's loads obviously where you guys are in town, there's loads of places, but one of my favourite places is the L7 Village Market. On Prescott Road. An array of Caribbean, Indian, Asian, Polish, African, you know, and if they haven't got it there, they'll get it for you.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I love these guys as well at the L7, because during lockdown, the L7 Village Market actually gave me lockdown. I was working doing hampers and providing recipe kits for families and children.
That's brilliant.
Who couldn't access ingredients, and they actually gave me discounts to support the charity. So big shout out to the L7 Village Market. They also do great bread. And as I say, the staff are great. So even if you're not used to cooking different types of food, you can go there and ask them about it, and they are really, really supportive. So I'm just adding some of these herbs. I will put the recipe up later, but basically I'm just chucking it all in.
What's your favourite cuisine then?
I love all food.
Yeah, you can't choose one.
I go through. I'm going to say pizza because I do cook a lot of pizza, and I've got my own pizza.
Oh my god,
oven.
Michelle! All of the nice things you make, like a homemade pizza.
I've just bought. I just got delivered yesterday the new Mowgli 30-minute cookery book, and so that's all I'm going to be cooking for the next foreseeable future.
Goodness, wow. Do you know what? How do you motivate yourself to get up and cook? That's something that I really struggle with.
Well, I don't cook for myself, do you know what I mean? I'm a beans on toast girl, but I love what I do. The motivation comes from the job, the people that I meet, my students who I absolutely adore. A lot of them, I love to see the whole journey through their lives. You know, like Tom Harrison House, who support military veterans with PTSD, drug and alcohol addiction. Their story from before, you know, their military life, coming out of the military, trying to get access support, because believe it or not, there's not enough support out there for our military veterans, which is really, really sad. I'm just chopping the potatoes now. So seeing their lives, working with the members here, it's such a privilege to be part of these people's lives. And what's nice is that a lot of the people that work with me come to my classes. They actually then go on to volunteer and work in the community, which is something that I actually really think it's a way of connecting with people.
Yeah, that's empowerment right there.
Yeah, and showing people that, you know what, we all have difficulties and we all face challenges, but together we can really support each other. And, you know, they can actually say, hand on heart, I had X, Y, Z, I was suffering with this and this. And it's also raising awareness that, you know different. There's no difference there if you have. Do you want to chop some spubs again? You know, and again, breaking down the stigma of different things. And the main, one of the things that I come across is, it's so important to cook from scratch. People say to me about healthy eating. If you can cook from scratch and batch cook, you can control the amount of sugar and salt that goes into your foods. It's a lot healthier. It's a form of therapy in itself, I think.
I think so too, yeah.
Well, as in for cooking for myself now. I'm really excited today because I love making homemade soup.
It smells amazing. I wish you guys could smell it because it smells gorgeous.
I got up this morning and made some fresh bread to go with the soup. We've got limited facilities here, so I made the bread at home this morning.
God, you're so productive. My morning was wake up, get ready, have a black coffee, and then go.
To be fair, I was going to go to the gym, and then I'll be honest with you, I turned over and went to sleep. So my idea was going to get up at 5 this morning, go to the gym, and then come back and bake bread. But I did one thing, so that's sort of productive. But I am going to go to the gym afterwards. If you're if you may be suffering with you're suffering with your mental health at the moment, what sort of things can people at home be doing to help themselves, or any advice there?
Yeah.
If you don't feel like you want to access services, or maybe you feel like you're not ready, what can you do yourself to help your own mental health?
I think it's a hard question, because I think with mental health, there's a difference between, obviously there's like a spectrum of mental health.
Yeah.
So you could be someone that has depression or anxiety, but you're high functioning.
Yeah.
So you can come into work, you can, do your job, you can get up, you can have a shower.
Okay.
Whereas,
that's great to know. So there's different forms. So there's, it's not just sort of, there's different forms of mental health.
Yeah, there's like a spectrum in a sense, if that's one of a right word. But yeah, so if you're high functioning, you can do kind of everyday things. Whereas if you're on the low end, if you're a low functioning anxious person, or if you've got depression, it's very difficult to actually do the things that are going to help you access your mental health. And unfortunately, we do have some members where they are completely unable to do things like that. So what helps me with my mental health, for example. Going for a walk. I love going for a walk around Sefton Park, just putting my headphones in. I love reading, so I read a lot of poetry. I love that. Music, watching TV, just kind of having that time for yourself where you don't need to do anything.
A lot of my students who were suffering with mental health during the lockdown, a lot of that was due to the heightened sense of stress, was due to some of the negative press. It was very disenfranchising, some of the stuff that was out on social media, the news. You couldn't escape it. It was so scary for myself and for so many people. And what advice I gave was, don't watch it. Turn off your social media, because you have the power then to control what's going into what you're watching and what you're interacting with.
That's so true.
And there was quite a lot of misleading information out there, and a lot of the students were really suffering, and it was awful, and it was due to the news, the press, the social media. It was just there was so much information out there, but a lot of it was wrong and negative.
Well, what we did over lockdown is we partnered up with a local GP surgery, and they would come in and give information sessions, kind of like myth busting.
Brilliant.
On, myth busting around COVID, how it spreads, the vaccine, and that was really, really good, because it was accurate information from a medical professional.
It smells delicious. You smell it over the entire.
You've got to introduce yourself now.
See, I told you, it smells amazing.
So that's a really good idea about myth busting. And what sort of questions were you getting asked?
So it was things like, like, am I going to get ill from the COVID vaccine? Like, I can't. There's some questions I probably shouldn't say on this live, but questions around, the vaccine was made so quickly. Why was it made so quickly? Is the vaccine safe? We had some Muslim service users that asked if they could take the vaccine while they were fasting and things like that. So kind of just taking on those, relaying that information in a culturally appropriate way, I think is one of the main things that came out of that session, Bay leaves.
Yeah, I'm just going to chuck a couple of these.
Classic in Pakistani cooking as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
In what way? What do you use it in Pakistan?
Biryani, we use it in some curries as well. Staple bay leaf. You've got to have bay leaves.
I love that.
I mean, I don't, but yeah.
Do you cook what sort of food do you cook at home then, or were you taught
pasta,
to cook?
fajitas, lasagna? That's about it. I mean, I can make curry.
Yeah.
I can make a really nice saag paneer, so like spinach and paneer.
Ooh,
yeah,
right. I'm
nice.
actually making notes of all of this.
Okay.
No
Okay,
pressure.
we should do it next time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you should teach
yeah.
me some cooking.
I can do like a chicken curry. I can do a lamb curry.
Yeah.
But I just don't do it often because there's only me. So.
Yeah, I'm the same. And Oscar, my dog, for everybody that knows my dog. And he raises money for Mary Seacole as well, because he runs with me as well. You just don't feel like it. But what I do encourage is, if you are on your own at home, you can always batch cook. So what I tend to do is just make a big pan of like soup or stew or curries, portion it off, chill it down and freeze it, and it's a great way of getting healthy homemade food without using processed. I try and do, like, if I'm going to cook something, I'm going to batch cook it.
That's such a good idea, because then I guess if you are not feeling up to it, all you have to do is put it in the microwave.
And you're going to get something nice and homemade.
Yeah.
So I've made this bread today, so I'm just going to bring it over.
God, it looks amazing.
I love homemade bread, is my weakness. I made this earlier. So I made some nice rosemary focaccia bread. So that's going to go with
Is that how you say it, focaccia?
I think so.
Focaccia, yeah.
I'm not known for my pronunciations of many things. I always get things wrong. So, any other tips we can do? We're going to finish in a minute and we're going to come back. I don't know, what time is it, Julie? Okay, we're going to come back. We've got our members joining us from the walking club. Julie, you're going to come and say hello?
Come on, Jules.
This is Julie, who works in Mary Seacole. She was one of the very first people I met here.
Hi.
Julie, this is Julie.
Hi, nice to see
just
everyone.
Tell us a little bit about what you do, Julie.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Health and Wellbeing Coordinator of the day service, so I'm responsible with my colleague Chloe Torkington to get some activities together so we break it down isolation for members.
Which
so
is really important.
A lot of our members are older members who may live alone, no family close, and we are a preventative service. So our purpose is so we support our members to get out and about, do different things. Walking group, art group. Coffee mornings.
Lovely.
Coffee mornings on Zoom, so some need to be digitally savvy to be able to access that. But yeah, it's all good. We have 78 day service members, so we've got a lot of people that we look after. But
that's just the day service. We've got around 300, I think.
Yeah, well, we've got an advocacy service, haven't we, which has got well over 100, and our BAME family service has got over 200. So we're looking after probably near 500 people.
Oh my goodness.
A small charity of 17 people.
Yeah, we were just saying. And it's only just become 17.
We were 11 for many years. I've been working since 2013, but we've just taken on 2 apprentices. I might be repeating what you said. And some...
No, because some people are just tuning in now, Julie, so it's nice for them. And, how important are these activities for your members?
They're absolutely crucial, because some of our members would stay in and think, well, I've got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
But, they can come to an art group and not pick up a pen.
Yeah.
They don't have to pick a paintbrush up. They don't need to produce anything.
Yeah.
They're coming for companionship.
Yeah.
They're coming for a conversation.
Lovely.
So every conversation counts, I believe, at Mary Seacole House, whether it's with the staff or with their friends. Some of our members are friends as well. But some of our members are friends. They become friends, and there's a name to someone once they've met them. So it's really, really important that our activities are there to stop isolation that breaks down low mood, depression, and then the reoccurrence of low mood, and then they choose to stay in and they lose contact with the community that they're living in.
And I think it's happening across the board at the moment. Everybody's
absolutely
struggling.
Especially with COVID. And our members were supported right through COVID. We were all home based. Our welfare checks were put in place. We were ringing people certainly every week initially, and we were able to judge who needed more support, who needed food supplies, who needed shopping, who needed lots of different things. We got all their posts still. We were doing exactly what we were doing in our office. Just changed the venue.
Absolutely. It's amazing. And I know that it's nice. I mean, it's great for Mary Seacole to actually be back in the office now and out.
Yes. I finally get to meet everyone, finally.
Well, Iqra's my new boss.
So that was a bit of a change. You came back and had a new boss.
Yes, we both came in on the, I was off on extended sickness just before Iqra came. So I came back on the same day as Iqra, so we got to know each other.
And we should give a shout out to Carol. Can someone just say a little bit about Carol and how she's involved in Mary Seacole House?
Yeah, so Carol Sawande is our CEO. She's been with Mary Seacole House how long, Julie?
30 years.
30 years.
And then
she was, she did. So she's our CEO. She's been with the organisation for 30 years. And she has done so much for our local communities. Massive
Big
shout out to Carol.
Fabulous Carol. So we're going to have a break now, guys. We're going to come back in a bit where we're going to meet some of the members. We're going to serve the soup. We're going to have a bit of a chat and just get their perspective on how they feel about Mary Seacole House and the activities and the day-to-day, and just see how they are, and hopefully they'll enjoy the soup that me and Iqra's made. So catch you all later. We're going to come back about 12:30 for the second part, and obviously Julie again, the amazing Julie. So come back about 12:30 where, I was saying you could have some soup, but you can watch us eating soup and chatting with some of the members at Mary Seacole. So thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks all.
See you back at 12:30. Thank you. Bye.